What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. We're taking another look at Hogwarts Legacy here running on the Steam Deck. Now, the game has launched with some performance issues as we're kind of used to on PC these days, and we are still waiting on some proper memory and performance patches that we need to come to really fix the game on PC, but they have had two patches since day one early access when I did my original video, where they've done like a shader patch, and then they had a day one patch when the game launched on Friday. So this is Sunday that I recorded everything 2 days after that at time I'm making this video to see if we've got some updated or better performance. Now, there are some areas that we do see some improvement. Largely the game does run about the same as it did, but there are some noteworthy improvements. Now, as far as settings, I'm matching what I originally tested on early access with FSR2 on quality and 60 FPS and VSync on. I recommend uncapped and no VSync could help you in this game. Now, we are on low as well for all the settings, and we'll talk more about those settings later on, but this just matches what I did for day one early access, which you can see here with the 60 FPS and everything here, how it was running just in this particular area. And we would dip down to like 31 FPS quite often here, and it was fairly sporadic. Now, if we jump to today, trying this out, for the most part, it is similar performance bouncing around, but we're not quite going as low in our FPS or hitting those 30s that we were, and frame times are slightly improved. So that is nice to see. Now, if we go to pre-patch again for the day one early access at 30 FPS here, like we tested before, you'll see very similar performance here, because I do think the game mitigates a lot of the issues and still runs decent at 30. But here after that, after the official launch with the two patches, 30 FPS it does run very similar to the day one, although I do think it might be a bit smoother than it was. When it comes to 40 FPS, remember I was talking about that being a big problem with holding 40, and that's kind of true, but you saw 26 FPS there, and the loading areas were really rough, and a lot of this could have had to do with the shaders. If we jump forward to now after the patches, the same area is a bit smoother and doesn't dip quite as bad. And I've tried this on multiple Steam Decks just to see, and I do seem to get that type of a little bit improved performance, which does help the overall experience of the game, so that's nice to see. Now, jumping over into Hogsmeade, this place is very difficult to run, especially on the Steam Deck and with the performance issues the game has. So pre-patch here at day one early access, it was kind of all over the place when we went in here with no cap frame rate. And it's not that much different today if you jump over into Hogsmeade after these updates with the same settings. I don't think there's much improved here, but I think future patches will help. When it comes to the 30 FPS, after official launch, it runs very similar here. I think it might be a little bit better than it was when we were testing it on day one with the early access. It might dip a little bit less and have a little better frame times. Now, when we go over to 40 FPS, unless you're sitting still, you're not going to hold that cap very well with this game on deck, depending on where you're at in the game. There are certainly areas that you can hold 40 without any problem, but not in Hogsmeade, and that's pretty much the same now. So if we jump into flying around with these settings though, and getting out into the open world and getting into a little bit of combat, actually performance is pretty decent with these. Of course, Hogsmeade is a lot rougher to run, so I wanted to get out and do some other stuff as well. And I think frame times and just overall hiccups when you're moving area to area are a bit better now after those two patches. So I'm looking forward to more performance patches here, because the game is certainly very playable on Steam Deck with a variety of settings depending on what you want to accomplish, and I think the patches will only help more. Now, for those of you interested, let's just take a quick look at medium and high. So here's medium with FSR2 on performance, and that's at 30 FPS. And yeah, there's areas of the game you can actually pull this off. There are other areas you'll run into where you will struggle to do that at medium, especially across the board. You might want to go in and tweak some settings down to low and do a mix of low and medium, but you certainly could do that, especially if you wanted to target 30 FPS in the game. I think you kind of get yourself a mixture there that works okay for the most part. Jumping over into high though, just about no matter where you go, even areas that typically run 40, 50, and even 60 FPS will often be pretty much down into the 20s. And I would expect that a title like this is certainly not made to run at high on a device like the Steam Deck, but it's fun to take a look at what kind of performance there is. I check this out from time to time. I wouldn't really recommend it. However, frame time stayed decent and the game is playable, so if you really wanted to push it that way, you could, but I think I'll stick with some other settings. What I've done here is just gone back to FSR2 with quality, because just picture quality gets rough as you go down into performance. And for my settings, going back to low, everything seems just to run the best here for me. And then textures on medium, which cleans things up a little bit. That's just pretty much the way I'm playing the game for now. You guys can drop some settings down in the comments, but let everybody know what you're playing at. But for me, this is working really well. And you can see the same area here where we were in the 20s. We're back up into the 40s. Frame times are looking decent. We can take off, go flying, have areas loading in here and everything. And it's, for the most part, pretty good experience. I think if you want to cap the game to 30 FPS, it's going to hold pretty well for you and give you some decent overhead, especially while we're waiting for some patches. If you want to cap to 40 and have a smooth frame time sometimes and dip under that from time to time, that'll work as well. But anyways, guys, I hope this video was somewhat useful for you, and I hope you're enjoying Hogwarts on the Steam Deck or wherever you're playing it. I know I'm really enjoying the game. But anyways, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
There's enough beast flesh for everyone. You've made a mistake. Nothing more than
Accio. Incendio.
You're the little sod that saved the shredder world.
Your poaching days are over.